Gonna give some time for people to join us. Hey, Jamila. Hi, Jamila. Hey, you guys. Welcome to Friday Night Live. Hey, City Girl. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Veronica. Hey, you guys. I am live on YouTube and on TikTok at the same time. So, what's up? Hello, you guys. Welcome. Welcome. Announce yourself in the chat so I can see you guys here. Let me see, make sure my comments are on. Okay, they're on. They're on. All right, you guys. Hello, you guys. What's up on TikTok? Hey, you guys. So this is my first Friday night, Lady T. Hello. Hey. This is my first Friday night live on TikTok as well. So if you're meeting me for the very first time, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Tracy Collins. And here on Friday Night Live is where I focus on all things business, wellness, and my life in Mexico. But tonight, by request, I am doing a personal branding. Hey, lady, I am doing a personal branding story and journey. I will be sharing with you guys how I came about and what I've learned about personal branding in my own journey from a business owner to now, and what I wish I would have done differently. Alan, you in two places? Are you in two places? Hey, you guys. So I'm trying to give people enough time to join the space. Although we got over 200 and some people on TikTok. What's up, you guys? My name is Tracy Collins. I'm so glad you guys are here. Hopefully, you guys will stick around because I do have some announcements at the end and that I will be sharing with you guys. So please, on my YouTube family members. So my YouTube family, what I have recently learned is 67.8% of you guys who watch are not subscribed. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. 67.8 of you guys who watch me are not subscribed. So you watch, you come back, but you're not hitting that like or that, I mean, you're hitting the like button, but you're not hitting the subscribe button. So I actually encourage you guys to hit the subscribe button because it just tells the YouTube algorithm that, you know what, we want to see more of what Tracy offers and what she's talking about. So it don't take nothing. Just go ahead, hit the subscribe button, please. Please and thank you. Hey, Shauna. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all on TikTok. I see you guys. I see you guys. Welcome, you guys. So I'm going to get into my, hey, from Australia, what's up? Hi, Lucretia. I'm going to shout you out later on. I didn't know you were in Australia. Okay, anyway, because I've seen your name before. Hey, Bobby. Hey, you guys. And let me shout out my TikTok people. What's up, Antoine? What's up, Darlene? What's up, Bernice? What's up, Barefoot in the Kitchen? I hope I said that right. What's up, Jacqueline? It's over. So we're at 100 and something, 116. That's what I see over here on TikTok. So hello, you guys. So I'm going to be talking about personal branding and strategy. For you guys here, my TikTok is primarily dedicated to my life in Mexico, but I'm going to talk to you guys about how to my story about personal branding and how it has changed my life when it comes to what I did and what I should have done. So I'm going to be talking about that in ways that you guys can start your journey should you choose to start a business or brand. And no matter where you are, you will be able to take this information with you and hopefully use it. Hey, Tea Time Beauty. Hey, you guys. D, what you doing? D is in my kitchen. She is in my kitchen. Okay. Okay. So like I said earlier, I'm going to get into the technical side of personal branding later on. But I really want to talk to you guys about my personal journey when it comes to branding and what I've learned. So give a little bit of backstory. A little bit of backstory. And you know, I have my trusted notes because I have to stay on track. I want to make sure that I don't lose focus. So, my personal branding story, business versus personal. So, when I built my company back, my national company, back in 2017 is when I launched the company. I really focused on the business branding itself. So it was my social media, it was cultivating relationships, it was always showing up, being present, making sure that I build not only the business infrastructure, but my presence as a professional in my field, as an expert in my field. And it was very successful. I showed up, I had an audience. Not only did I have an audience, it created a following. Not only did it create a following, but it also created a business that I was able later on to sell. However, in retrospect, that was one of the worst things I could have ever done, was just only focus on my business branding. And I hate that I did that. No one was really speaking about the importance of personal branding. It was always about what do you do? What can you offer? What product or service do you have, right? And so in hindsight, and I want to shout out Ronnie Brown. If you guys don't know her, please be sure to look her up. Ronnie Brown, I took one of her branding trainings or branding master classes back in 2022. I was actually on my scouting trip in Mexico. And I took one of her classes, and what I learned, number one, was a lot of people didn't have basic understanding of business infrastructure. So unfortunately, she had to spend a lot of time helping people to identify just business infrastructure. But what I got from it, and what she told for me was told me was like, Tracy, you have done an excellent job in building your business, but nobody knows who you are. So, in with that being said, part of the reason why people, hey, luxury vagabond, hey, sis, people didn't know who I was, hey, Michelle, was because I am a person who protects my heart space. And what do I mean by that? It was like, I am not going to show you who I am. I'm not going to show vulnerability. I'm not going to show weakness. I am not going to let you into my heart space. And honestly, now in 2024, that is the main thing that people want to know is, who are you? Who is the person behind the brand? What is your story? What makes you who you are? And so, with all of that being said, when I sold my company, it is like I had to start from scratch in building my personal brand. And I have to use somewhat of the same components when it comes to building a business infrastructure, but I have to tell my story. So I was doing some research, as I always do, when it comes to, hey, Femme Noir, when it comes to building your brand. And one of the things that some branding experts said was like, what is your two words that you can use to describe yourself? And I was like, And of course, I went automatically into corporate mode. I went automatically into like, well, I'm, this entrepreneur. I went there because that's how my brain works, unfortunately. But then I had to sit back for a minute, and I actually encourage you guys right now to think about this. I want you guys to, in getting to the core of who you are, and I'm going to bring this full circle, but you got to stick around for, through the whole process. I want you to do the ugly work. I want to know, or you to know, who you are and be able to, articulate that or write that down. But give me two words of who you think you are. I will go first. I am a repeat failure. I am a repeat failure. Now, they be like, Tracy, wait a minute, that's not even positive, that's negative. But hear me out. In me being a repeat failure, and throughout my life, I have failed at relationships. I have failed in school and had to take courses over until I could graduate. I have failed in business multiple times. I have failed in business so much that it's countless. It is countless how many times I have failed in business, right? But my two words, and I want to ask you guys to think about your two words for a second. What are your two words? Like, do some real quick, deep shadow work. And if you could think about, like, when the ugly part of you, when you don't want nobody to know, like your darkest secrets and those self-doubt moments, what are your two words, right? Hey, mom, you're on TikTok? Why is my mama on TikTok and not on YouTube? Nevertheless, mama, you're here. Hi, mom. So with that being said, my two words were, I'm a repeat failure. So in me being a repeat failure, it has cultivated who I am, you guys. It has cultivated who I am. It has given me a spirit of tenacity. It has shown me as long as I pick myself up and I try again, then guess what? Guess what? Then I will win and I will succeed. But as long as I pick myself and try again. It's okay if you fail. I have created and developed such a good relationship with failure. Um, because I've learned that that's where the lesson lies. So in my life journey and in my entrepreneurial journey and my professional journey, I mean my personal journey, I have learned like I am a repeat failure. But in being a repeat failure, it has taught me like, girl, you got a lot of gumption about you. You have learned a lot in your failing that you will ever learn in your succeeding, right? Okay. So in creating your 2 words, like what are y'all's 2 words? What are your 2 words? Let me hear what your 2 words are. If you, I gotta think. It requires. I have to sit with that too. I have to sit with like, what are my 2 words? Like seriously, because I want us to get out of the mindset of it. We have to show up perfect. Because honestly, in what your audience cares about when you are thinking about cultivating your personal brand is who are you? We create more human connection through imperfections. We create more human connection through authenticity, or I have those same struggles, or those are my same failures, right? So always changing, a habitual giver, like exactly, keep going. And I want you to get dark and I want you to get ugly with it. And you don't have to like go there thoroughly, but I want that to be in the back of your mind. And in that, I want you to think of how you can turn always changing into something a little bit darker, like I'm a repeat failure, but how has my journey in failing elevated my life? What have the lessons been in elevating my life through the lessons of failing, right? It has made me an expert business strategist because I know what not to do. I know exactly what not to do so I can help other people not make the same mistakes that I did, right? I know how not to pick a mate anymore, right? I know how not to do a lot of things because I've made those same mistakes over and over again until I say, you know what, Tracy, if you want something different, you have to make different choices. Okay. So now with your personal branding, people want to know, who are you? Who are you? And it sounds so cliche, but honestly, in today's day and age, what separates those who are taking their branding seriously is like, really, how are you showing up in the world? How are you showing up? How relatable are you? Sensitive and intuitive. Serial starter. Oh my God, this is a great one. Serial starter, right? So, how can we turn that serial starter into a serial finisher? Like, what is that story? How can we change that or add one more adjective to that to make this serial starter a serial finisher, right? Or serial executioner? Okay. Um, do the ugly work. We got to do the ugly work. And we have to go through phases of failure in order to see like who we are at the core. And if we allow ourselves to sit in those dark spaces, if we allow ourselves to get comfortable being uncomfortable, then something beautiful can emerge from there. So when people see your personal brand, they're like, oh my God, well, I hear you. My sister, she was like, Tracy, tell us how you have all these pictures and images of you. But that comes with the territory as far as the technical side of branding. My struggle has always been my heart space. My struggle, as you guys see, I've had to have open heart surgery. So I came in fighting for my life. Right, I came in like, I'm gonna protect my heart by any means necessary. You're not gonna see, and you guys, people who are close to me will always hear me say, I'm a G. I'm not gonna do that. You ain't gonna see me do X, Y, and Z. You ain't gonna see me cry because I'm gonna thug it out. That's my facetious way of saying I'm protecting my heart space. But when we are talking about elevating our personal brand, and so we can create an audience, develop a following, that turns into clientele, that turns into um, customer base and people who are following you, it takes time. It takes time, and it's the time that we don't want to do. We like things quick, fast, and in a hurry. We like things given at like, microwave seconds or Amazon speed. And honestly, that's not how it works, because we have to create a feeling of trust with our audience. We have to do that over developing a course of time with them. And there's different ways that you show up. So, um, one of the things, or these are the things that I felt, because I failed to create my own personal brand when I built my company. This is what suffered. They didn't know the story behind the person, right? My audience did not grow on the personal side of things. Uh-oh, my internet is going out. My audience didn't grow on my personal social media following pages, like on my personal pages, right? Part of me protecting myself was, I don't want people to get close to me. I have to always show up as this corporate person, because I was always in corporate space, having to make corporate decisions, having to show always in my masculine energy. And what I learned was, because I didn't show that side of me, I didn't have a true audience that my company. I don't know why my internet is moving slowly on the side. Once I sold my, no one really followed. Some people did, but no one did it. So not a lot of people didn't. And when I tell you, it was, it was a decent following that I built over there. So I found myself in a place of like reintroduction. I had to reintroduce myself to my target audience. I had to reintroduce myself to the people who I had always been, creating and crafting businesses for, or, creating and crafting a business around. Creative procrastinator. Baby, come on now. With these names. I love it over here. Love the listing. Thank you, darling. You're a great teacher. Thank you, Kathy. That's part of my background is instruction. So thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. And then also what it has caused me to do is now I'm starting from scratch. Not as much anymore. I'm getting accustomed. I'm getting back into the flow, but it's starting from scratch. So I'm applying the same mechanics that I did before, but now I'm applying it to Tracy. I'm applying it to me. And I had to think about like what my pillars are. If you want to think about yourself from a branding perspective, meaning like, what is your brand? What do you stand for? What's your story? They call it unique, is the unique selling proposition. Like, what is it that you're selling? Your USP, your unique selling proposition. But I have to sit and think about what that is. And I have to go back to the drawing board. And my drawing board and my wheelhouse has always been business and women's wellness. So business and women's wellness. So when you think about like, okay, your story, people want to know who you are. They want to know your journey. They want to know your reason why. What is your reason why you do what you do? My reason why I do what I do is because I love women. And it's not from like a romantic standpoint. No, it's like I especially love Black women because I am one, right? I am a Black girl. So I have to like love us first. And so in loving us first, I love us in so much that I want to see us well and I want to see us succeed. I want to see us win. And when I see us win, I am cheering for you behind the scenes. I am cheering for you authentically. I am cheering for you because I also believe in what energy I put out into the universe for my sisters will come back to me. I am not one of those people who is going to be fake in your face. But no, I am consistent through and through, but I am your cheerleader. And in doing that, and in being your cheerleader and in my pillars, it's like business, getting our money right, getting our businesses amplified, getting our businesses seen and elevated and crafting what it is. What is your unique selling proposition? What is your USP? What is it that you are trying who to sell? And then who is your target audience? Who is your target demographic? Who are you talking to? We cannot throw spaghetti at a wall and expect something to stick. That can't work. We have to know, who are we speaking to? Who are we selling to? And getting a deep level understanding of who is your target demographic. I know my girls have heard me talk about it before. It's like, I really encourage you guys to get into understanding who that is. So for me, for Tracy, I had to do all of that. Again, I already knew who my target demographic was. I already knew that because I had spent so much time in that space, but I had to reintroduce myself. I had to recraft myself. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and I would mess up. If y'all knew how much I failed, if I kept track of my failures, I would run out of paper. I would run out of fingers and toes. The difference is I've gotten so comfortable with failing or making mistakes, it just means that didn't work. Okay, well, if I can't go left, I'm gonna go right. If I can't go right, I'm gonna go up. If I can't go up, I'm gonna go down. If I can't go left, right, up, and down, then I'm gonna go zigzag or I'm gonna bust a U-turn. That's just how my brain works. Because guess what? If I keep getting a whole bunch of no's, that means I'm just not talking to the right person, or I haven't found the right thing yet to crack that door open for the yes. Right. So in your branding, everybody wants to know, how am I going to make money? How is this turning into like dollars and cents? It will, but it can't be the thing that you chase. It cannot be the thing that you chase. Your audience, and cultivating that relationship and developing that trust with your audience, and what is going to make you stand out, what is going to make you be the one, be the go-to person. Who are you? Why should they patronize you? Why should they spend their money or their time with you? Why should they show up every Friday night and spend an hour with you? Why? Right? And people think because we're going to put pretty pictures up on Instagram or pretty reels up, then that's going to be it. Just because you have a viral video doesn't mean that you're going to have a following. And it doesn't mean that a following takes time to build over the course of time and a lot of different strategies. But once they know who you are, they will continue to show up and support. And that is what you want. You want that authentic following because they know who you are. They understand your reason why. They know that you have their best interests at heart and that you are not going to sell them any bullshit. And they know that you are uniquely positioned and they're going to listen to what you have to say and your reason why. That is it. Okay. So you guys have described your two words, right? You've thought about your two words. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So have you guys thought about your two words over here? I see some, I lose interest so quick. That is actually really, really common. Losing interest really quick. Okay. So now, and when we talk about like who are we really, it's like I really want you guys to show, and this is gonna be like, really, Tracy, you're saying this, but people connect with vulnerability. They connect with vulnerability. They connect with your pure intention, and just to make sure that you're not attention seeking. I'm gonna say that again. People connect with pure intention, making sure that you're just not seeking attention, because people can smell bullshit far and wide. They know when you're full of shit and when you're not. So, what is your intention? What is your pure intention with your audience? With me on my TikTok audience, y'all know, even though you guys are here for a branding session, y'all know I got your back when it comes to like what my life is like in Mexico. Part of the reason why I even had to get to this point in my life was because when I talk about personal branding, is because of moving to Mexico. Because had I not, I would have never been able to get to the core of this, right? So here on YouTube, you guys kind of get a mix of it all. But you understand that I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna always be here and I'm gonna give you guys the real Tracy. Okay. So the next thing is we want to make sure that we create emotional connection with our audience, right? So show little blurbs, show little hiccups, show behind the scenes, show bloopers, show funny moments, show sense of vulnerability. Now, I'm not saying get on camera and like be one of those boohoo crying, do one of those boohoo crying sessions. I'm not saying that. But like, yeah, I failed a whole bunch. I have failed a whole hell of a lot, right? And in this book that I wrote, it talks about all of my failures. And then I've had many more since then. So when we talk about like creating a personal brand, it requires you to really delve deep and become introspective of like who you are. You have to do some deep soul searching. And we want to know why sometimes our engagement, our social media isn't getting the necessary engagement. That's why I hear Instagram, I see Instagram, I go on Instagram, I'm nosy on Instagram, but I don't like Instagram. Because to me it's full of shit. Like, honestly, I'd be like, y'all are some curated MFs over there. Why is everybody perfect? Why does everybody look good? Why is everybody's camera perfect? Why does everybody dress not? Why? Because it's not real life. So to me, like I find home in TikTok, or I'll find home in my audience in on YouTube, or even ironically, even on Facebook. But Instagram, I'm gonna be like, okay, we just gonna put something up here so y'all know I'm still here. But I just think that they full of shit. I do. I be like, y'all ain't perfect. So just stop. And for people who crave authenticity, it's like, yeah, this ain't working for me. I need to find where I can connect with my authentic audience, right? That's why I be messing with y'all over here. So when we think about like crafting our personal story, I want you guys to really sit and think about that. How are you going to show up to your audience? Like, do your reason why. Don't be afraid to express a level of vulnerability. Get into that, because what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of, oh, yeah, me too. Oh, yeah, I can relate to her or them or they or him. Like, yeah, I get it now, right? And what's going to happen is when you offer a product or a service, they already know who you are, right? You've already shown up and proven yourself to them. Okay. So we've talked about like, discovery, self discovery. We talked about like knowing who your crafting your personal story, being vulnerable with that, giving it some definition, identifying your pillars. When I talk about your pillars, giving yourself like, okay, this is my business, but then this is also my personal. I hate niches. Niches have never been, oh, this is my niche, or this is what I do. I hate that, y'all. I mean, I don't know how many of y'all are with me, but I don't like niches. I don't, because as human beings, we're so multifaceted. And so for me, what works is pillars. So for me, I have three pillars: business, wellness, Mexico. And in those three pillars, business, wellness, and Mexico, I can tell you a story under each of those. I can give you those are the tree trunks, and then they branch off from there, right? Okay. So, and we talked about like understanding who your target demographic is. So, for our people who don't really know who our target demographic is, I'm gonna give you some clues or some tips. Think about like who your ideal customer is. And the euphoria, who would that be? Who would be your ideal customer? Is it a man? Is it a woman? Is it a them or they? Like, what is who is it? An animal? Like, or sometimes people have like they sell products to animals, products or services. So, who is your ideal customer? I want you to sit and get a piece of paper, and I want you to draw this out, so much so that it becomes embedded in your brain. It becomes memory to you. Like, I can rat off who my target demographic has always been Black women between ages of 27 to 55-ish, who is a professional in their field with disposable income. I can go deeper into that. She is that professional girly who can, loves to travel. She has a little bit or even more, so she's investing her money. Like, that is my target demographic. She is an art appreciator. Like, so she gets her social media from Instagram and TikTok, but she's a constant, like, is constantly evolving. She's constantly learning. Essentially, I think I kind of described me. But anyway, I digress. Focus, Tracy. But that is who my target audience has always been. So no matter how I decide to switch up, I know I need to speak to her. And honestly, you guys, before I ever always get on social media and go live, I always say a quick prayer. And my prayer is, please let my heart speak to somebody else's heart. As long as I touch somebody else's heart, then I've done my job. It doesn't matter about numbers or how many people or how many hearts. I just need that one. That has always been my prayer, because I understand I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel, right? So, however, Creator and ancestors choose to use me underneath my three pillars, knowing that those are my wheelhouses of expertise, then that is how I'm going to show up. So, I hope this is making sense. I hope this is resonating with you guys. My target audience is me. Yeah, damn, that's me. See, target audience. Who is your target audience? So get a piece of paper. I'm serious, y'all. Write it down. You need to know where your target audience, like how they're spending their money, what is their career. Seriously, how are they making their money? How are they getting their news? Like, where are they vacationing? What is their social media preferred, social media whatever that they use or like. You have to get into like, do they go to the bar? Or do they prefer to travel? Or do they prefer to dress in fashion? Like, that's their thing. Like, you really have to get into that. Who are you talking to? So understanding your target audience, and then consistent messaging. Now, this part, you guys, this part, you're going to have to always go back to the drawing board, because you want to make sure that you're fine tuning your consistent messaging, developing a clear and consistent message that reflects your values and your expertise, making sure that you are concise with your wording. When you're concise with your wording, and the reason why it's so important to be so concise with your wording is because people don't like to read. People are not going to read long, drawn out messages. Number one, because everybody is living in such a fast paced society, 9 times out of 10, or we've been conditioned to become lazy. So we want things quick, fast, and in a hurry. So with your messaging, you have to be quick. You have to be bullet point. Think bullet points when you are talking about crafting your messaging, right? Ensuring that all of your communications across your social media handles, from your website to your social media, making sure that it is all consistent, making sure that your bio matches, making sure that your description and your handles match, and making sure it all goes together. Because what you don't want is somebody, well, over here they said they this, and over here they said they're this, but Google says they're this, or we can't find them. So your messaging across the board has to be consistent. So if you change one, you have to change the other. Okay. So you just want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence all the time, and don't hesitate with going back to the drawing board. Just switch it up. It's okay to change, because what that means is you're paying attention. You're paying attention to what's happening, what's working, what's not working, what your audience wants, what they don't want, what they're responding to, what they're not responding to. And what's going to happen is your messaging is going to start to come like this. It's going to move from that, and from that funnel focus. That's what I call it. So from that funnel messaging all the way down, and it's going to be very concise. And that is what you're going to be known for, right? So the next thing is your online presence and your visibility. So again, what does your online presence say about you? What does your online presence say about you? So building a strong online presence with your social media, with your websites, with if you write blogs or if you have blogs, making sure that you're leveraging platforms. So like right now, I'm leveraging platforms. I'm on TikTok and I'm also on YouTube. Leverage your platforms. My TikTok audience has never heard me talk about this. My TikTok audience always hears me talk about Mexico, but now they're seeing a different side to me. And you know what I do? Is sometimes I'll go on my TikTok stories and I'll post like behind the scene things or little blurbs about me from a business aspect. So it's like, oh, okay, well, she does this too. So it's not going to necessarily be a surprise. Or I'll show up on my YouTube community page, and you'll see a little bit of something different. So if I show up in underneath one of those 3 pillars, it won't be so unfamiliar to your audience, right? So, but you're leveraging your platforms. Okay. Another thing that I've started doing this week, I've done it before in the past, but I'm just trying to become more consistent with it, is utilize my Instagram stories to create more of that authentic relationship and cultivate my audience that way, so they can get more of the behind the scenes of me. And I think that resonates more with my personality style, because I don't like curated bullshit content. I like real, give me realness. Give me real stuff. Like, so this is who I really am. I can really talk to you and tell you this, or I can really talk to you and share this download with you, and it be behind, on the stories part. Another thing I do in leveraging platforms is I poll my audience. I'll poll my YouTube audience all the time, or I'm polling my Patreon audience all the time. I'm polling you guys. I'm asking you questions. What do you want from me? What do you want to hear from me? What do you want me to talk about today and focus on? What is it that you want from me? Ditch the niche. I hate niches and whatever, however you pronounce that word. I do. I hate them. Okay, so the next thing is networking and building relationships. So yesterday I had the opportunity, if you guys haven't seen it, please make sure you go watch it. But I had the opportunity of being on Black Sit Global. That's a part of networking and building relationships. I love her content. I love what she does. I love how Krishan is out there handling these tough conversations with people that we don't necessarily see, hear, and or talk about. Right. And so we got in our DMs one day and we was just going back and forth. And little did I know she was fangirling with me just as much as I was fangirling with her. I didn't even know that. But we're talking about networking and building connections that way and how you're able to grow your audience from there too, because it gives you a different level of exposure to a new audience. Um, but connecting with peers, you have mentors, which, potential clients, even with employers. How are you leveraging your relationship? How are you building relationships as a professional? But even as a professional, this is a part of your personal brand. So when I went and I spoke at Berkeley last month, like, I'm communicating with the admins throughout the entire time. What is it that you guys would like for me to really focus on? What is it that you guys need to hear? What are the talking points in that I need to be centered on for this particular event? So I'm building connection and relationship, but I'm also cultivating my messaging for their target audience. Okay. And also, it creates a sense of like, this person is credible, right? It gives you a sense of credibility when you start connecting and networking with the people who are in your field. And so we want to create that in your personal branding. So we talked about being authentic and being as transparent as possible, being genuine, making sure that you're intentional with your messaging, making sure that you know who your target audience is, and you're building trust with that audience. Okay. Your professional appearance. My appearance is pretty consistent. I'm a girl. I like to show my shoulders. Apparently, in my mind, I kind of see myself a cross between Blanche Devereaux and Dorothy, right? Dorothy Zbornak and Blanche Devereaux. Like, in my mind, I am a hybrid of them. Okay. So, but I also do it because it's hot where I sit. Like, I have my own fan, Honey Got Me, Alum Don't Come For Me. That's right next to me now. So, like, I'm hot too. So I have to make sure that I'm cool. I always have either red lipstick on, my trusted red lipstick that y'all always see over here, my trusted red lipstick from Sephora, or my NYX matte, whatever, the nude. Like, I have these. So, and I say that because you want to make sure that you are showing up. So if somebody meets you in person, guess what? Oh, okay, you the same as you are online. And I've been told that over and over again when people meet me in person, like, you're the same person. Yes, I don't have time to be nobody else. Who else am I gonna be? Tracy is enough. Tracy's enough. Oh my God, I got 7,000 likes on TikTok. Come on, y'all. That's why we messing with them. That's why I love y'all. I do. I just love y'all. Okay, focus, Tracy. Um, yes. Come on, intolerable introvert. I'm loving these names. Yeah, I'm a Blanche girl. I am. The live with Black Said Global was everything for me. Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. Okay, so but your personal appearance, and then when you're called to certain events, that you show up as the event calls for you to show up. And then I had to really sit with this because I am calling more public speaking into my life. I've done a ton of online speaking, but more personal appearance speaking. And I was like, Tracy, what you want to wear? Because I am a leggings girl. I am a give me athleisure all damn day. That is who I am. I don't feel like being in heels. So I have to sit and think about, what does my personal style look like? So I know what that is, and I'm bringing her forth. Okay. So be a forever student. People who have fucked with me, sorry y'all, sorry mama if you in here, but seriously, if when you mess with me for a long time, I always say, be a forever student. You will never, ever, ever know everything, right? You will never know everything. There is always going to be somebody that's better than you. So shut up and listen. Be a forever student. Be a forever student. When you are a forever student and you are constantly studying, that means you are constantly evolving, you are constantly changing, you are constantly growing, you are constantly elevating, you are constantly radiating, you are constantly glowing, you are constantly glowing up. I mean, you are constantly just becoming who you are meant to be, which henceforth is going to continue to attract your target demographic even more so to you, right? So if for me, just by example, I'm always studying CEOs and I'm always studying people who are in particular fields that I was like, okay, this is what I would like for my brand to look like. This is what I would like for my brand, how it would resonate with certain people. So do your due diligence. Get in Google, get in YouTube, and type in certain people or certain words, and you will be amazed who comes up. And you may become a fan of theirs from afar or maybe close up, however, but you was like, I like how they do this. Oh, I love how this is structured. Oh, I wouldn't necessarily do this, but you have to make sure that you tailor your messaging to your target audience and to your either product and or service that you offer. So this is why, again, why that consistent messaging, how that plays into it, going back to it, making sure that all of your messaging is consistent. And then monitoring and adaptation, making sure that you are always looking at your insights, making sure that you are always looking at your analytics, making sure that you are paying attention to what is working from an analytical standpoint, meaning on Instagram, they have insights. On YouTube, that's how I knew 87% of y'all, I'm sorry, not 87, 67.8% of y'all on YouTube who watch me aren't even subscribed. It's like y'all come back over and over and over and watch, but y'all not even subscribing. Let's fix that. Because if you're coming back as repeat customers or clients, then make sure that you can, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Because guess what? All it does is just elevate my presence more on YouTube. So more people like you can find this so we can all grow in this community together. Um, but being ever changing and paying attention to what your industry is doing. So when you are a forever student, you know what's happening in your industry, you know what's changing in your industry, you know what's working in your industry, you know what's not working in your industry, you know what technology is applicable to your industry and or not. So it requires you to pay constant attention to what is happening. It puts you in a position of being a forever student. And don't hesitate when it comes to investing in yourself. So this is the part, Alan, when you were asking me about my pictures, we have to invest in ourselves. As a brand, you are your own brand. I'm my own brand. So with me being my own brand, I knew I wanted to be my own brand years ago. I think it was in 2021 when I had the conversation with my IP attorney and I said, I want to trademark my name, Tracy Collins. I bought my name. I might have been even in 2020. I don't know. Maybe I think it was 2021. I bought Tracy Collins. And the reason why I bought my name was because I knew I wanted to be a brand. That means no matter if I wrote how many books, public speaking engagements, courses that I write or cultivate, guess what? It goes under Tracy Collins, right? And so in that, I'm constantly investing in myself. If it's master classes, if it is self-help books, if it is mentorship, if it's coaching, if it's photography, if it is videography, making sure that you are constantly investing in how you look, how you show up into the world, because guess what? It just only makes you stand out and more credible to your target audience that you have cultivated all of this time. I hope all of that made sense. I hope all of that made sense, y'all. Um, Giving self permission to change is powerful. Yes, giving yourself permission to change and evolve is powerful. I give myself, and you know this, Bobby, I give myself permission to do what feels good and right to me. I do. And it has come with, again, a whole bunch of failing. It has come with horrible boundary setting. That is one of my weaknesses. One of my weaknesses is horrible boundaries. And because of that, I know that's my weakness. I have become so protective and defensive when it comes to standing my ground. And people will be like, oh, people will be like, who are you? Who do you think you are? Me. You crossed the boundary that I've set for myself. I can't compromise who I am or who I am aiming to be for the sake of your feelings. I can't do that because I have to be able to sleep with myself at night and go to sleep and feel okay with that. And if you penetrate my peace and wellness, then I gotta put you in your place. We have to teach people how to treat us in business and in our personal life. Okay. Just because you're a business owner, it doesn't mean that you don't teach people how to treat you. You have to set those boundaries, right? If your office hours are between 9 to 5, then you better clock out at 5 o'clock. Don't answer the phone at 5:01. Don't return an email at 5:01. Don't respond to nothing until it's back time for you to check in, unless it's an emergency, depending upon your particular field. And I learned that the hard way. I learned that because I sat up on the phone on a Saturday night with a client who had a non medical emergency when I was offering direct to client services. And it was just like, I'm sitting on the phone with you during a time that is not your scheduled appointment with me for a non medical emergency when I could be with my family or I could be scratching my ass watching Golden Girls just because you want somebody to talk to. And it was from that moment on, I was like, I will never do that again. My office hours are from, okay. Hi, Tracy. I found you wonderful. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Yoga Bliss. Uh, Brown table talks, yes. Okay. So I hope this makes sense to you guys. So when we're thinking about our personal brand, it's like, what is your messaging? What is your story? How are you authentically showing up? Making sure that you're cultivating your messaging to your target audience, to that target demographic that you are speaking to, making sure that you are massaging it, you are giving it time to grow, making sure that you are being open and vulnerable with them and as transparent as you feel comfortable with, that you're not afraid to that you're not afraid to show your failures, because we create more human connection when we show up as relatable than not. Social media will make you think that you have to be perfect. You don't people care about who you are, right? You guys know my heart space. I came in with a broken heart. I came in fighting for my life. I've had 2 open heart surgeries. So of course, like from a physical aspect and also from an emotional aspect, I'm real protective. And that's a part of my defense mechanism as a human being, is that I am protecting my heart space. But part of that has kept people out. And I understand that. So I kind of, play double dutch with how much am I going to show, how much am I not. And I'm getting better over time with it. Okay. Uh, Let me see. Do I have any questions? Oh, Goddess, if you specifically want Black women, you want to add a title of a Black woman or something. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily, because this is applicable to everybody right now, what I'm talking about. Uh, this has been so helpful. Thank you, darling. I hope that you will be able to utilize it. Boundaries are my friend. I am getting there. I am getting there. Boundaries being my friend. Yeah. And I had to assert a boundary with a relative not too long ago. And she's still pissed off, and I'm letting her fester because I'm not playing with you. But it's like I can't compromise my wellness for your level of understanding or lack thereof. I'm not doing that at this big old age that I am, as folks like to say. Okay. Uh, I always wondered and think of such an inspiring part of your story. Oh, okay, Black women, got it. Yeah, it just depends on, but this particular story or this particular live is applicable for personal branding across the board. Across the board. Yeah. All right. Oh, love got a question. Let me see. Who did I miss? Hold on, you guys. I don't see her. Where is the question? Did I miss it? Oh, oh. Oh. What pain point will your product and or service solve exactly? But also, you have to pay attention to voids in your market. That's another thing that people, oh, on TikTok. TikTok. Oh, I missed it. Oh, child, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. If y'all could type it in, y'all killing me on two spots. Let me see. Dropping gems tonight. Oh, thank you, Steph. I struggle with boundaries when COVID hit, spiritual awakening. Yes, boundaries is a must. Yes, let me see. Self love is necessary. Self love, let's recoin self love. Self love is self preservation and giving yourself permission to be selfish. Okay, giving yourself permission to be selfish, because when we're selfish, we're saying yes to ourselves. Okay, and I can't keep saying yes to somebody else and not to myself. Okay, so self love is self preservation and giving yourself permission to be selfish. Interesting. Be humble and wise. I have a, when it comes to humility, just the definition of humility alone is saying, I'm okay with being proud, but not prideful or arrogant. In a sense, be confident in what it is that you offer, what it is that you do, and not be arrogant. But sometimes people, you got to show them who you are. And being a woman, being a Black woman, I've had to do that several times. And it's okay, because sometimes you got to remind people who you are, because they've actually pulled that side of you. But if you're going to meet me with fire, I'm going to meet you right back. So with humility, it depends on the individual and or situation or circumstance, but always be confident. Always be confident. And it takes work. It takes deep mirror work. It takes deep introspection to be confident, and it's not something that comes easily because of conditioning. But if you do the work, if you stay steadfast, you can absolutely become that person. uh Let me see. I created a blog and just some random stuff, some acting, quick scenes of Mama Fork. Okay. Random. I can't see it. Okay. I don't know. Sorry, y'all, if I missed it. Okay, so I want to make some announcements. First of all, I want to shout my Patreons out, or my patrons. Did I say it? My patrons. I want to shout y'all out. So I want to thank you guys who are in my Patreon community. I want to give you guys a verbal shout out. So Karen, Crystal, Alum, Tess, Deborah, Carrion, Lucretia, D, Awak, if I'm saying that correctly, Hakima, Mona Lisa, Zena, Bobby, Monique, and uh, in annuity. I hope I'm saying that right. But I want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my community. I show up differently in that space. I'm actually really vulnerable over there too, because I'll talk about things that I don't normally talk about, which is more sacred wellness when it comes to like my journey as a woman, and helping other women center their wellness and center their pleasure. So shout out to you if you are interested in becoming and joining my Patreon community. The link is in the bio. Both of y'all, the link is in the bio. Also, my there are some of us who are getting together who are offering a redefining your life abroad summit. So the link is in the bio if you are interested in learning more about that. And the reason for this summit is because, hi mom, and your mom. What about my mom? The reason for this summit is because what we are finding since we have moved abroad is, Love Girl wants to know, does appearance matter to a degree? I think as long as your appearance is consistent with your messaging, um, and your target audience knows what your messaging is, they'll be okay with it. I don't think you should show, if you're a yoga person, I don't think you should show up in a three-piece suit. Like, you see how that messaging and that imaging and that branding doesn't make sense. Yeah, like for me, I love comfort, I love leisure, but I can be fancy too, and I'm moving in my goddess era. So if y'all see my style changing a little, that's why I'm moving into my flowy goddess era. If I had hair or long hair, it would be wild and crazy, but I don't. So I'm bald, and it's just gonna be blowing off my scalp. um yeah, thank you guys for bringing it up here. But for the Redefining Life Abroad Summit, it is about how are you going to recraft your life. For my community on TikTok, primarily, and also on YouTube. It's about rediscovering who you are, and we will be going over like your money. We will be talking about marriage. We're going to be talking about entrepreneurship abroad, and we are also going to be talking about cultivating wellness for yourself in this newfound space. So if you are interested in knowing when everything goes live and the updates for that, make sure you click the link in the bio. I need to put it on TikTok. I will do that as well. The link in the bio. If somebody can drop the link. Alan, can you go over there and drop the link? I'm sure you got it up. I'm sure you got it up. For our people who can register to receive that information, we don't want you to fall through the cracks. If you are cultivating your life abroad, if you are thinking about moving abroad, we really want you guys to be set up for success. And it's not just about getting abroad, it's about staying abroad, okay? Because it can, you can have some mental lows and some challenges and some financial setbacks even, but we want you to be prepared as much as possible. So if you are interested in that summit, we implore you to go ahead and give us your email address, because we would love to send you guys updates and information when everything becomes available. The next thing is, if you like today's message and would like to have something tangible in your hands, I created a guide for you. So a branding guide, you're creating your own personal brand guide. It is in the digital download link in the bio or in the description. You guys can have that for yourself or get that for yourself. I think it's like $4.99, but it's something for you can have as a step-by-step guide as you are crafting your personal brand. It is something, say, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm crafting my messaging. I'm going back to the drawing board. I know who my target demographic is. I know who I'm selling. I'm connecting. I am networking. I am building strong community relationships. So this is something that will help you along the way. My YouTube is Tracy Collins. My YouTube, if you go into, for my TikTok family, if you go into the link in my bio, my YouTube is there. And for my YouTube family, the message is there too. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I cannot believe I've talked for an hour. I cannot believe that. Yes, your image should match your authentic self. Your image should match your authentic self. And not what people expect of you. And don't be afraid to change. I think it is important that people see you elevate. I think it's important that people see you grow. Oops. I also think it's important. Oh, thank y'all for the heart. TikTok with the gifts. They just be giving me gifts and get me so excited. I also think it's important that people see that you invest money into yourself. When we talk about branding, personal branding, people are going to always invest money into their businesses, right? Oh, thank you. How do you do that? People are going to always invest money into their businesses. But how much are you going to invest into you as a person, right? When we talk about teaching people how to treat you, when you teach people, the one way to teach people how to treat you is let them see you spend money on yourself. Let them see you take good care of yourself. Because if they can't match that or supersede that, they don't even need to be here, because they're not adding any value to your life. They're not. Okay. So don't hesitate letting people see you glow up. Capture it. Take them pictures. Create those reels. Show up so people can see the evolution, because you, my dear, are the inspiration of. And I will close out at that. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. My TikTok family, I know y'all got my back. My YouTube family, thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, Mind and Mana, so much for being here. The only constant is change. Come on, somebody. If you are not changing, you are dying. One of my pet peeves is complacency. Don't ever become complacent with yourself. Okay, always give them something to like aspire to, whoever that is, whoever they are, but never become complacent with you. Thank you guys so much for joining. My name is Tracy Collins. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to get your digital download if you want something tangible in your hand. All right. Oh, Dr. Cox, hold on. I came in when you were mentioning writing two things. Can I say that part? So those two things are, Dr. Rocks, the two things are thinking about two word adjectives or adjectives in two words that describes you. For me, as an example, and not in a professional, polished, pretty way, but some real introspective, deep core, shadow work, self introspective kind of way. And for me, mine was constantly failing. What did I have written down? My words were uh where I know I have it written in my Scrabble, but it is I was constantly failing. But what I've learned about failure is it's created the person who I am today. And I am very comfortable with the word failing, is because that's where my lesson lies. So, how are you going to spin that narrative and be able to tell your story in those two words, right? You're going to turn those negatives into a positive and be able to craft your messaging and your story to reach your target audience and your demographic. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week on Friday Night Live.